people, and our audience suggests that 10% long walks.
You're listening to Dr. Berg
20% dehydration
here on HRTV.
30% acidosis, and 40% increased fat intake. Have any winners?
Well, think about this. You're losing weight. And the question previous to this, I talked about almost 50% of your fat cell is cholesterol. A gallstone is a super concentrated amount of cholesterol. That's where it's coming from. But that's only going to occur if you have a lack of bile. If you don't have enough bile salts in your liver because there's some, I don't know, fatty liver, or you have some issue with producing bile. But it's rare, but some people will get them if they don't have enough bile. The simple solution is to take some purified bile salts. You're losing a lot of weight. If you're at risk, if you had a gallstone before and you're obese and you're actually going to lose weight, take some purified bile salts, and that way that can prevent that. And in addition to that, you can actually consume more vegetables, which actually help buffer some of this cholesterol. It's the bile that helps regulate cholesterol. And I will be releasing a video on this very, very soon. All right. Steve?
How about some phone calls?
Yeah. Let's go to Jonelle from, let's see, where are you from?
Salem, Massachusetts. How you doing,
Oh,
Dr.
great,
Berg?
great.
Thank you so much for everything you do. The keto lifestyle has changed my life forever.
If you're at risk,
So I have a question in terms of exogenous ketone supplements.
It's going to bypass the glucose and support dementia. So that's kind of what I would recommend it, but not for weight loss.
Okay, so not for weight loss. Thank you so much. And I guess that's where I was getting at. Thank you so much, Dr. Berg.
Sure. I mean, it's so funny. Like, how are you going to lose weight with taking a ketone? I mean, just adding ketones. The ketones aren't causing you to lose weight. Your own fat on your body is not even. If you take ketones, then your own body doesn't have to generate ketones. It doesn't have to burn the ketones. So all your fats are going to be sitting there. It's not going to go away. So you don't lose any weight with ketones.
Wow. Well, and thus our next question. So, what is one factor you must do to adapt your body to fat burning? That's our next question.
So let me clarify this. What is the one factor to get your body to adapt to fat burning?
Sure.
The one factor. Here we go. Audience, have at it.
Yeah, what's the most important single thing you must do? It's really just one thing.
Your own fat on your body is not even.
Okay. So now let's go to Jean from New York.
Hi, Dr. Berg. Thank you so much for taking my call. I watch all your YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
Dr. Berg, I have, my husband has very, very bad acid reflux, and he took an endoscope on Monday, endoscopy on Monday, and I'm trying so hard because I'm home, trying to help him to get healthy, but he's been having a lot of pain. I'll put him on to talk to you directly. Thank you, Dr. Berg.
Sure. It's really just one thing.
Hello, Dr. Berg. Thank you for taking our call.
Sure. So now let's go to Jean from New York.
I'm looking at the results from my
Hi, Dr. Berg. Thank you so much for taking my call. I watch all
one of
your
it
YouTube
is I had a
channel.
small size hiatal hernia.
Dr. Berg, I have, my
The other
husband
thing
has
is
very, very bad acid
I'm reading the
reflux.
doctor's report. Normal
He took
mucosa,
an endoscope on
small
Monday,
fundic gland polyp
endoscopy on
on
Monday,
his stomach,
and he,
and then
and you want to take probably 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 before a meal. And the reason why that you take that is that'll just help. That helps to keep the valve closed so the acid doesn't kind of come up. But in addition to really fixing the real problem, which is that you need to get on a keto, and you need to definitely do intermittent fasting, because ultimately your digestion is going to finally have a chance to chill out, relax, and heal. And I think it's just you're suffering from kind of an overload of the digestive system. So we want to start. It's time to start. So go ahead and do that, and don't forget the betaine hydrochloride is going to help you. Another thing that will help you is also drinking apple cider vinegar and like a tablespoon in some water. Slug that down a few times a day, and I think you'll start to turn around. It's interesting when they do those tests. They're looking for, maybe inflammation, some structural problem, but they're not really looking for the functional pH of that stomach. They did a pH test. They'd probably find that pH is not as acid as it should be, and that's more of a functional issue. And then the valve doesn't quite close, and then you back up and you get GERD and things like that. All right.
All right, how about some answers for a great question here, okay? And it was, what is the one factor you must do to adapt your body to fat burning? And our audience suggests that don't have any sugar. I agree with them. 30% say fasting, 10% say exercise, and 30% say eliminate carbs. By the way, the no sugar was 30%. So those are our totals.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to ask this question because I wanted everyone to give me the correct answer, and maybe not everyone did, but it's definitely to reduce sugars and carbs. But reducing carbs is the thing. And of course, when you're not eating anything, that's reducing carbs. So that is what you need to do to get your body converted over into fat burning, is to drop the carbs. If you take a look at all these diets out there, and you just put them next to each other, and you look at them based on this one factor, you can then predict which one's going to be successful and which one's not, based on how many carbs that are in that meal. So start focusing on the carbs more than anything else, and you'll be more successful if you want to get your body into ketosis. Reducing carbs.
All right, okay, here's our last question. How long does it take for your body to become fat adapted? How long does it take? And, we had a call about that a little bit.
Some water in a jug overnight, and then rinse them out. You're going to see all this stuff come out of them. Rinse them out and then dry them out, and then make your nut butters. I'm telling you, you're going to, not only is it going to be delicious, but you're going to, it's going to be really good on your system. Like you won't feel any weirdness. Now, some people can just consume raw nuts, not a problem. It really depends on how well your system is designed for certain enzyme inhibitors. But I mean, for example, walnuts are usually raw, but I can digest them fine. But if you ever have a raw peanut, oh my gosh, which is not a true nut, but that can really doesn't really digest well. So I think that really depends on your digestion. But in my book, I talk about how to germinate the nuts. I've done videos on it. That's probably the ideal scene, and you can dry it on the dehydrator or your oven under low heats. And that way you have all the enzymes and the benefit, the protein and the fats, but without the enzyme inhibitors.
Okay.
Awesome.
And you don't think that would decrease like the vitamin content or anything, the soaking?
No, it's not going to reduce it too much. Not at all. Actually, in fact, you're getting rid of enzyme inhibitors and other inhibitors that block nutrition. So it's going to enhance your ability to get nutrition from that nut if you soak them overnight. Right. Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and then let's just go to Eric from California. Hi, Eric. Good name.
Hi, Dr. Berg. Hi, of course. Hi, Dr. Berg.
Hi.
Hi. Before I get to my question, I want to let you know that you've been such an inspiration to me. I've seen all of your videos, and I love the keto and intermittent fasting lifestyle. And as a matter of fact, I'm ready to take your health coaches and your keto and intermittent fasting coach because you inspired me to become a health coach.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I have a curious question. So which is worse, consuming more meat protein or consuming high quality carbohydrates?
Okay, when you say quality carbohydrates,
Meaning, before I get to my question, I want to let you know
how would you define a quality carbohydrate?
I would say like for example, like berries or hummus. Yeah.
Okay. So if you do too many berries, you're going to basically run into too many carbs. Okay, so that's going to knock you out of ketosis. If you do too much protein, that's going to all great. Guess when that starts? It starts at 4 weeks, but it can go up to 12 weeks. So it's not going to be 3 days. So to really become fat adapted, you need to do it 4 weeks to 12 weeks. So this is probably a little more than you might think. And so this way, you guys have the correct estimation of time it really takes. So you're not, oh, I tried it for 2 weeks and things didn't quite go the way I wanted to. So in fact, some people might not lose a lot of weight for about a month just because it takes a while. Think about your whole life. You've been eating a certain way. And now we have to not just generate enzymes to make ketones, we have to generate enzymes in mechanics to absorb and utilize this new fuel system. So it's a whole different machine that you're building. You can speed it up though if you do more fasting and more periodic prolonged fasting. You keep your carbs lower. You'll speed it up. So maybe you can even bring it down to a couple weeks. And if you add exercise, you can speed it up even more. So these are just things to think about, but think long term with ketone. This also explains why people might have they have really bad insulin resistance, or they're pre-diabetic, and all of a sudden their blood sugars are still high, and they're not eating any sugars because the system is still adapting, and it takes time.
Well, Dr. Berg is also very patient with our callers, and he never leaves them hanging. We got two more. We're going to make sure we take care of them. Who are we going to, Terry? Okay.
Well, Steve, you have to have patience. So this is why we have a waiting room and in the office, and then also that's why we call you a patient.
That's exactly right. So
let's go to Sahar from
that's
Toronto.
correct.
Hi.
Hi, Ontario.
Hi, my name is first of all, I want to thank you for all those videos. I've been watching for a while, and I have a few questions. First, I have been sick through the last year, and I have got all the tests like endoscopy, colonoscopy, and MRI. Everything has the doctor runs. They have not found out anything, just IBS or small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And I've been losing weight, and I have a bad digestion issue, burping, flatulence, light colored stools, and I have a silent gallstone. I have no pain under the rib cage, but I have a silent gallstone. So my question is, should I get it removed? It's not causing any symptoms. Should I get it removed? It's 1.9 centimeters. Or is there any way to dissolve it, or I can do anything
I think that would be between your doctor, but this is my opinion, is that I would definitely try another route first. I would try, definitely take some regular bile salts, and I would probably take them also on an empty stomach and with meals through the day, just consistently over time, and see what can happen. Without a gallbladder, now you can't really put it back. So it'd be nice if they could actually potentially do a surgery. You probably don't want to do this, but where they could just take the stone out and leave the gallbladder there. Sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't. I think the gallbladder is important. So unless it's creating an issue, why take it out? Because now you're going to have an issue with the storage of your bile. And then you're not going to have enough sometimes, and you're not going to be able to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K. So it's definitely a situation. So I would try to see what happens if you can shrink it. If you can, then you don't have a problem, then go in that direction. Of course, get on healthy keto, so that way you have the vegetables and everything else to make sure that your diet is correct, because obviously some imbalance triggered it in the first place.
All right, and of course we're going to go to Vicki from Darlington, and then don't go away, audience, because I have an important announcement before we wrap the show. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, Vicki, you are on from North Carolina. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I want to give you a little bit of background just real quick. I've lost over 120 pounds. I don't have a gallbladder. I take bile salts. So I've done really well. And I've been just 6 pounds to my goal weight and kind of stuck. I tried to do the keto on steroids. And, of course, the more I up my vegetables, the more I stay constipated. I've always had that problem. People will tell you, take fiber, take fiber. No, fiber just actually causes me to be bent over in a fetal position in mega pain, and it causes me to be severely constipated. In order to even try to go to the bathroom, I know this is a little TMI, but I have to use, every night I have to take Senna, Silymarin, and Cascada Dorada. I know I'm not saying that right, but and I have to a lot of times just go ahead and also use suppositories. So I watched a video of yours, and it really intrigued me. It was the colon cleansing, your opinion, and in that you talked about people like me who the fiber causes the constipation, and you talked about going carnivore for approximately 2 months, and I would like to know what would that look like on a 1 meal a day?
Yeah, there's a right way to do it and a wrong day. You wouldn't necessarily just want to have steak. You'd want to have some organ meats, and there's maybe some eggs and other things. So it's too short to give you the complete version of it, but I think that your fat needs to go up and your protein go down. So you're actually 2 to 1 as far as weight goes, like 2 times the fat to protein. That's what you want to do. And you'll find that here you are on no fiber, but your bowels are working great. So this is a perfect example, especially if you had SIBO, there's a gal that I interviewed a while ago. It was the from Hungary, paleo keto, something like that. You can check that video out, maybe contact them and find the diet that they recommend. I think that's perfect for you. You're probably going to do better on maybe a little bit of fermented vegetables, and definitely a probiotic. I think a good liquid probiotic would come in handy for you. But yeah, some people don't do well with vegetables, so you want to avoid them right now. But when you do carnivore, you just want to make sure you're getting all your nutrients too. So search out that video and you can check it out, and it's somewhere on my YouTube channel. All right, thanks for your call. And Steve, what were you going to say?
Sorry, the show may almost be over, but boy, the excitement's mounting with our upcoming video topics. And here they are. How to lower cholesterol on keto. Why liver damage makes Why liver damage makes men estrogen dominant. That was a typo on Terry's part. I'm going to blame him. Why certain diseases will decrease your appetite. And finally, the best protein for recovery from exercise, stress, and trauma. That's all coming up on drberg.com. So even though the show's wrapping up, let's keep our eyes peeled on drberg.com until next week.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, guys. See you next week, and enjoy the upcoming videos. See you later.
Okay, you guys, now I'm going to speak and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Berg. Of course, Dr. Berg is somebody I respect and somebody I love, and I think that it's important for everybody to know, who understands and, what's going on with your body. And when you get these videos, and these videos come out and you see them, the first thing you think about, I know I think about, is let's see if I can get them to everybody. So how can I do that? Well, first of all, I can put it on Facebook, and wherever it goes, it goes. Or I can put it on YouTube, wherever it goes, it goes. Or I can put it on the channel, wherever it goes, it goes. And also, I'll put it right here, of course, on the Roku channel, right behind me, as you can see. This is me here live, see? And what's good about this is that not only Hamilton Radio promotes this, but I'm the owner, so I can do whatever I want. See, that's the best part of having the ability to do this. The best is yet to come, guys. I mean, as long as I am healthy, breathing, and alive, I will bring you the best entertainment I possibly can. And, of course, you know that because you can see me here, right here on the screen. And you can see that I'm an older guy. I'm in my 59. I'm going to be 60 in June. And my goal is to help everyone understand that you don't have to be tied to a certain diet. You don't have to be tied to a certain doctor. You don't have to be tied to a certain hospital. And you don't have to be tied with your life. Life is about change. And what I do is I show change, whether you like it or you don't like it. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to show it no matter what. And guess what? My own Roku channel, I can show it. Facebook, you can shut me off. YouTube, you can shut me off. Can't shut me off here. Cannot. That's what's the importance of having your own network, because you have the availability to put anything you want on it that's viable to help the human population. Now, I'm not a doctor, but Doc G stands for something. And yes, I stand not only for myself, but other people. And I realize there's only so much we can do to help some people. But this is about your health. This is about who I am as a person. This is about what we do together. And whether you believe me or you don't believe me, that's fine. Because if you don't believe me, millions or thousands of others will. If you don't understand what I'm saying, millions or thousands of others will. So none of this matters to me, because if you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's fine. You don't have to. But I love Dr. Berg. I love the way he puts things out. Like he said, you don't need fiber to have regular bowel movements. Now, how important is that? Or sometimes fiber causes problems with bowel movements. That's what I've been telling my wife probably for more than a few years now. Either you got to increase your fiber, and if that doesn't help, there's something else going on there. Let's find out what it is. When you reduce your carbs in all the food you eat, no matter what it is, you reduce the sugar, you help the liver. If you reduce the bread, you help the body. If you reduce the intake of gluten, I don't care if you're gluten intolerant or not gluten intolerant, it will help the body. Well, let me go, guys. Talk to you later.